Eddy Merckx, widely regarded as the greatest cyclist of all time. He won everything. His victories include sprints, time trials, summit finishes, an unequalled 11 Grand Tours, all 5 monuments, 3 World Championships, pretty much every major one-day race, and extensive victories on the track.
I, on the other hand, I once won a raffle, and I still have my 50-metre swimming badge as well. And while I can ride a bike, I can't ride one anywhere near as well as Eddy. Truth be told, I'm not even the fastest in my family.
Merckx's list of achievements don't end there though. In 1972, he took on the hour record. A beautifully simple challenge. How far can a human travel around a velodrome in just 1 hour? I mean, it was Eddy Merckx, so naturally he set a new world record, 49 kilometers, 431 meters.
However, what makes Merckx's record all the more impressive is that he did it on this. This is the very bike that he used. A round tube steel frame with drop bars and no real aero features to speak of. It's a custom-made Colnago that was designed by Ernesto Colnago himself, and back in '72 this was cutting edge. It took 200 hours to make and it weighed just 5.75 kilograms. I mean, it's amazing. But since '72, bike technology and equipment has advanced insurmountably, so much so that the record now stands at 55 kilometers and 89 meters, set by Victor CAMPENAERTS in 2019.
This got me thinking. If I used the latest and most modern aero tech, sports science, expert coaches, latest recovery methods and training, could a genetically unremarkable individual, me, beat the greatest of all time, Merckx? I'm gonna find out. On the 17th of February, I'm gonna put myself on the line and have a go at the hour record and see if I can beat Eddy Merckx.
While the prospect of riding around in circles as fast as you can for an hour is fiendishly simple, once you actually break it down, it's deceptively hard. If a regular guy like me is going to ride 49.5 kilometers in an hour, I'm going to need all the help I can get. So my logic is to identify the challenge and then identify the challenges within it, and surround myself with the experts and the best people and the best equipment possible in order to overcome those challenges. So step one, I'm gonna need a coach, a blooming good one.
I decided to reach out to NEAL Henderson. For those of you who are unfamiliar, he's a sports scientist and world-class coach to professional athletes. NEAL is the head of the Sufferfest Sports Science Division and founder of Apex Coaching and Consulting in Boulder, Colorado. Oh, and he also happens to coach some bloke called Rowan Dennis. In all seriousness, he actually coached Rowan Dennis and Evelyn Stevens to our record success. NEAL also suggested we recruit the expertise of his fellow coach, Mac Cassin, who as a physiologist would be able to provide invaluable insight into how we can adapt my physiology best to the demands of riding in a circle for an hour. Before we went any further, NEAL asked me to perform a fitness test. This was to assess where I currently am at in terms of my fitness, but also determine if there was any realistic chance of me challenging the cannibal. The test is the Sufferfest 4DP Full Frontal. This is a much more comprehensive and sophisticated test than a standard 20-minute FTP balls to the wall effort. And you may remember Lloydie actually undertaking this same test when he did his How Fit He Could Get on 4 Hours a Week series. It will tell Neil and Mac much more about my physiology, as it comprises of a couple of all-out 7-second max sprints, followed by a 5-minute max effort, 5 minutes rest, and then it's straight in to a 20-minute full gas FTP effort with a tasty 1-minute max effort for dessert. Yum yum. The rationale behind this is to find out my anaerobic, neuromuscular, maximal aerobic and functional threshold powers. And armed with this information, Neil and Matt will be able to assess if I have what's required and also tailor my training going forwards. In addition, the all-out maximal 5-minute effort that comes just 5 minutes before the 20-minute effort should drain my legs anaerobically, giving a much more realistic FTP value.
This 20 minutes is going to be hard now after that 5 and those sprints. Oh mate. That was horrible. I feel like I'm going to chunder. I'm so glad that's over. I messed up the minute effort at the end. My pedal came out. I need to change my cleats. I was going too hard. So I'll make sure Neil knows that, because I don't fancy doing the whole test again right now. But Neil's going to have a look at the results, and then he'll use that to determine how we set up the power and the training going forwards. So I'll have a call with him later on. That was bloody hard.
Now, if you just enjoyed my deposits into the bank of pain faces, please give this video a thumbs up. My results for the test were as follows. So my sprint was abysmal. 760 watts, 5-second power. But in truth, I've done no sprinting all year. So it's kind of to be expected. My 5-minute power, that was better. That was 376, although that is lower than what I'd expect on the road, but that's kind of normal on turbo trainers. That's to be expected. My 20 minutes was all right, 288, and my 1-minute power was messed up because I, as you just saw, accidentally unclipped during that. Sorry. Now with all this, the results classify me as a pursuiter, which is interesting. I mean, Rowan Dennis and Bradley Wiggins were pursuiters. Perhaps there's hope yet. But I'm gonna go chat to Neil and Mac now and see what they can assess from these results, and also my previous training files from the last few years as well. Mac, Neil, good to see you both. Thanks for having the video call with me. So I've done my 4DP test. Give me the good news and the bad news. What does it mean?
Like, we wanted to see where you're at, because we know obviously with the hour record, the goal is to get your power, 1 hour power, basically as high as it can go. The training you're going to do for that, it really depends on where your starting point is, and that's what's really great about starting with this more complete profiling.
Something that did jump out to us as we look through these values is cadence. So if you think about the hour record and what happens on the track, well, you're going to be on a fixed gear bicycle, and there is going to be no shifting, there's going to be no coasting, and so cadence is actually a pretty critical factor. In your peak neuromuscular power, you did exceed 1 horsepower, so you did 760 watts, which, 1 horsepower is 746, so good on you. Your average cadence for that 5-second effort was 105 RPM. which is okay. Not super fast. You're gonna have to be averaging pretty close to that for the full hour. So instead of for 5 seconds, you're gonna have to do that for 3,600 seconds at a little less than half of that power. So keep in mind that sprint power, and most humans, hit peak power between 100 and 130 RPM. So you're on the lower side of cadence there. So we're definitely got some work ahead of us in terms of being able to produce power at a little bit higher cadence for you. And your anaerobic capacity, final minute or so, or the 47 seconds of it, you did average 87 RPM. So a little bit of a bounce back on that. So your training and time and things, I think we want to, kind of utilize, you're heading into the winter months here. And so we're going to be doing a good bit of your during the week training Monday through Friday, a bit more in the indoor on the kicker, and doing these kind of specific efforts on the TT bike in that position. And so comparatively during the week, your volume may be a little bit lower, though we're going to introduce some 2-a-day sessions for you, which will also be, there's some potential adaptations that we can gain from those in how we play those out and implement them. And then the weekends will be a little bit longer in general. You're not going to be doing 6 or 8 hour rides, so don't worry, not epic, but you're going to be doing some longer rides, and we'll have you get out there with the group, the chain gang that you have on Saturdays. Not every week, but it'll be part of things. Let's see, we mentioned a little bit kind of the strength. How about yoga and mental training? Have you kind of delved into those areas with your training in the past with any specificity, or just kind of?
No, not with any specificity at all. I've just sort of dabbled in a bit of yoga every now and again when I felt a bit stiff, but just to stretch out and things like that. But yeah, I'm open to it. I feel like I need a bit of a stretch, especially if I'm going to be getting into that position a fair amount. So
it's great to be able to get scrunched up and hold a very nice aero position on a trainer for 3 seconds, but as soon as you need to do that for a full hour with the stability component of actually riding outside, it becomes quite a different ask.
Well, at this point, if we're looking about 12 weeks out, we are just over 5,000 hours away from your 1 hour attempt. So we got a little bit of time to work with, but not much time to waste. So we're really looking forward to getting you going towards seeing if you can exceed the great Eddy.
Cool. Right. So I guess I'll check in with you guys next week.
Yes.
We'll crack on with the training from here. Right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.
Cheers, Ollie.
Good talking to you. Yep. Bye.
Bye.
So the good news is that Neil and Mac have done some maths, and they reckon that based on my results, if I can get fitter, more aerodynamic, improve my flexibility so that I can get the power out in that TT position with a higher cadence, there is a chance that I can do this. Now, they also say that Merckx is estimated to have averaged around 400 watts, which is remarkable in itself, but even more remarkable when you consider he did it at altitude, which makes that feat much harder. I won't be at altitude. However, Mac and Neil have calculated that if I can get sufficiently aerodynamic, I'll have to average around 310 watts. Now that is not much for a pro cyclist. It might not sound much to you, but trust me, for me, that's a lot.
Performing this initial testing and chatting to Neil and Mac has highlighted the mountain that is ahead of me. Even with all the best help in the world, this is likely to be the hardest physical endeavour I've ever undertaken. So the first step from here is for me to crack on with training and get used to riding at a higher cadence and putting the power out in that aerodynamic TT position. I'll also be doing some aero testing to get my position optimized so that my drag coefficient can be as low as possible, as that is going to be really important. My training going forwards is going to be a mixture of outdoor and indoor. And through Neil and Mac, Sufferfest have kindly integrated their workouts into my training. And this is ideal for me because, like many of you, I work during the week 9 to 5 and need to be time efficient And so indoor workouts are ideal for that, as well, my job, believe it or not, is mostly office-based in GCN Megabase HQ. That's its official name.
Just in my pain cave at the moment, going to be spending a lot of time here. And if you'd like to follow my training plan, then you can do, but I will be doing quite a bit, as much as 16 hours a week, and I appreciate not everyone wants to commit that amount of time. But don't worry, regardless of how much time you want to commit, you can still do your own hour of power challenge. Simply go on the Sufferfest and do the 4DP full frontal test, and then set yourself a target. It could be anything, just to improve your FTP, maybe target a specific time trial or race, or maybe you just want to do a PB on a particular climb. Doesn't matter, just do it and get involved and use the hashtag #SuffHourOfPower. There's also a really good 10-week time trial prep plan built into the Sufferfest as well. And the great thing about the Sufferfest is that it tailors the plans to your individual power profile. It's not just a fitness test. So to put this in perspective, what this means is that if I did a standard FTP test and had a plan built around that, then as we've established in this video, my sprint prowess is well below average. Which means that on a standard FTP test, the sprint intervals and the neuromuscular intervals that it would set me would be far too hard for me. I wouldn't be able to complete them.
Just out doing some training in the morning. I'm under no illusions, believe me, when I say how hard a challenge I think this is and how hard it's going to be for me. Every person I've spoken to who's done an hour record before, they all say the same thing: don't do it. It sounds savage. Even Eddy Merckx himself, he reckoned it took 3 years off his life. Ridiculous. But you know, I'm nervous, but nothing worth achieving is easy, and I'm going to give this my best shot. I'm going to throw myself into it. So I'm going to crack on with my training and get a bit more aero, my favourite thing.
In the meantime, if you'd like to follow my progress, then all of my workouts, including the strength and yoga work that I'll be doing, flexibility, are going to be posted on my Strava, and there'll be updates on Instagram too. So there'll be links to those in the description below. We're also going to do weekly vlog updates in the GCN show. So subscribe, hit the bell, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Wish me luck, I'm going to need it. Bye.